What's up, degenerates? Mad Merrigan here for Cold Bear Sports. Right, lads, a busy day for me tomorrow on YouTube. So let's hope, and I have one for the service tomorrow that I really like. If he brushes up on his jumping, lads, we could be on one tomorrow. I need to just go back through a few things. I'll come to that in a minute. That's for the Patreon service. So just the one selection for me today. Empire Steel in Kelso, absolutely bolted in. Been so frustrating for me, this horse. I know how well handicapped he was for a long time, and on the 26th, on Stevens' day, he was going to win in a hack canter for us when he fell. So very painful. And then the last day, I thought he was the absolute bet of a Saturday. And he blew out, but the stable had two runners in Linkfield the day before as well that were both coming in off the back of wins or solid runs, and they all blew out. So the stable must have been under a little cloud. But nice to kick the bookies in the nuts today. And returned 7-2. Plus, it's a funny story. I was in the bookies and I backed him at 7-2, and I was walking out the door and I said, I'll have a look there at Russian service. I'll walk over, and I said if he was 4-5, I would have backed him. But he was 4-7 anyway. So I said I leave him off, but I thought he was a penalty kick today, and I would have backed him at 4-5. But then I looked at the board. This is only not fucking 20 seconds after I'd done me bet. I looked up and Empire Steel was 4-1. So I said, all right, out another docket. I backed him again. And so absolutely lovely to back him twice, because he owes me that after the lackluster run. But like I said, before he ran this season, I told everybody how good he was. I knew he had unbelievable potential, and nice to see him fulfill it there. On Racing TV, they kept saying how this was a very, very close race. And for me, if he came back to form, he was just chucked in, and he wins by 16 lengths. Hacked up. So really happy to get to get that horse across the line, because that's how painful this game can be. We had that horse a few weeks ago. I knew he was the absolute bet of the century, but he still blew out, stable under a cloud. So nice that he shows his potential, and not news to me at all. I really like the horse, and nice to kick the bookies in the nuts again. So really starting to crush them now this week on the Patreon service. Really one good bet now after the other. So really, really, let's keep kicking now. Let's murder them. Massive day yesterday. Joe having the 4-timer. Myself, I had 2 out of 3. And and some just a really, really good, this is what I say. It's just, this is a marathon. Like, this game is a marathon. But through a lot of changing in the new year, it's just cost us to be fucking all up in the arms and not actually focusing on the winners. But just lovely there today. Lovely to kick them in the nuts again, and not lovely just to take the bookies' money. That's what we're here for. Right, moving on to tomorrow. Right, the 150 in Ascot, Coarch Rambler. I'm going to go a pint win. He's around a 7-2 shot. 150 at Ascot. I want to give this horse a chance on a day where it's going to be a dire day. They're really going to be strung out like washing, I'd say. But I think this horse, I'm not giving up on him yet, because I knew Warwick wouldn't suit him the last day. He lumped a big weight. He was out the back, down the inside. In Warwick, the front runners tend not to come back, and I thought he really stuck on well. And I think a smaller field tomorrow around Ascot, there's a couple of horses that like to go forward. There's going to be no pressure on this horse, and when they cry enough, he's going to be plugging on. He might run in snatches, he might get lazy, he'll come on and off the bridle, but I just feel like I'm not going to give up on this horse yet. I seen him winning a couple of times, looks very good, and I think he could run a big race tomorrow. So a pint win, Coarch Rambler, same trainer that we landed the big 6 pints win bet yesterday, same jockey. So yeah, really, really untapped potential and maybe not fully exposed, but it's a tough enough race now. I could make a case for a few of them, but on a dog's day I'm going to go with Coarch Rambler, a pint win 3-1. And then in the 338 at Ascot, I love this horse. I've made no bones about it. Fanion Destruval. He landed a big bet for me on the service in Newbury when he bolted in off top weight. And I really like this horse. I do not know how this horse is 13-2 tomorrow. He's after opening, I think, 100-30. He's gone out to 13-2. Yes, he probably is better on a flat track. But in a race where some horses can blow hot and cold, this lad will run well. And he ran a massive race under a big weight the last day. Probably just got running too soon and was just beaten by a brilliant ride. Kevin Brogan just timed his challenge to beat Fanion. But Fanion tomorrow now off level weights. This is a good horse, so a pint each way at 13-2. Then I'm going for 225 at Ascot. Fiddlerontheroof. No problem with the ground, lads. And this is a good horse. I backed him for the Gold Cup this morning each way at 28-1, because if he wins impressive with top weight tomorrow, he could go a lot shorter. So Fiddlerontheroof, the classy horse in the race, won't mind soft ground. Actually, best form is on it. A pint win at 3-1. And then in the 7:30 at Newcastle, One Heart, a pint each way. This is an 11-2 shot. Trying 5 furlongs for the second time. The jockey gave it a stones of a ride the last day and wasn't beaten that far, and I expect a good run. So that's Coarch Rambler, the 150, a pint win 3-1. Fanion Destruval, a pint each way, 13-2. Fiddlerontheroof, a pint win 3-1, and One Heart in Newcastle, a pint each way. Now I am going to give a 1 pint treble, because there's 3 short horses tomorrow that I think will oblige, hopefully anyway. Right, the 405 Grand Paraadis in Gowran Park. Eydon in the 5:30 in Newcastle, he's 8-15. And then Skytastic 5-4 in the first race at Ascot. So that's a pint win treble. I'll put that below. But I really think this Eydon in the 5:30 at Newcastle is a very, very good horse. If he was 4-5 today, he would be only he's open so short. If he was around a 4-5 shot, he would be, max 7 points win by Eydon. But anyway, he's 8-15. Skytastic, if a very good horse in Ascot. If he handles the ground, I've never seen him running soft, but he looks a very good horse. So a pint win treble on them, and then the 4 up there in Ascot, Newcastle. Alright, bet safe. Enjoy the weekend. Really starting to kick the bookies in the nuts now. And the service is really up and running now, lads. Right, the time for codding is over.